Hello guys, welcome back to the course. In this video, we are going to get to know more about things that we're going to learn in this course. So in this table of contents, I'm going to explain things that you're going to do, things that you are going to learn in each chapter. And as you guys can see here, in total, we have 14 chapters in this course. So hopefully by the end of this video, you're going to have a better understanding about things that you can expect to learn from each chapter. Alright, so let's begin with the first chapter, whom this course is intended for. So in the first chapter, we are going to answer these particular questions. So I'm going to explain my intention behind creating this course. I'm going to explain who are my main target students for this course. And obviously, if you are interested in conducting market research using AI, if you are interested in conducting competitor analysis or consumer insight analysis using AI, this is definitely the right course for you because that's exactly what you're going to learn here. So we're going to talk more about that in the first chapter. Okay, so let's move on to the second chapter, AI tools and resources. So in the second chapter, we're going to get to know more about all AI tools that we're going to utilize in this course. In total, we're going to utilize 13 AI tools. Those tools are FlowGPT, AgentGPT, ChatGPT, Them AI, Openly AI, Entropic IO, Altro AI, Hopes AI, PlusDocs.com, EcomHunt, InsideHacks.com, SimpleScrappers.io, and Chat2CSV.com. And the good news here is those 13 tools are completely free, guys, so we're not going to spend money on those tools. Okay, so let's move on to the third chapter, Basic Fundamentals of Market Research. For those of you who are already familiar with market research, you might have done market research in the past for your business. Feel free to skip chapter 3. However, if you're new and you want to learn more about market research, please stay in chapter 3 and pay very close attention, guys. Okay, so in chapter 3, I'm going to explain the key objectives of market research. For example, like understanding customer needs, assessing market viability, evaluating market trends and opportunities. In addition to that, we are going to learn about challenges that people commonly face when conducting market research. Then we're also going to learn about how AI can help us to automate and speed up the market research process. And lastly, we're going to get to know the market research full step-by-step process, guys. Okay, so that's chapter 3. Let's move on to chapter 4. So in chapter 4, we are going to be comparing two market research methodologies. So the first one is quantitative and the second one is qualitative, right? So we're going to talk about when to use quantitative market research methodology and when to use qualitative market research methodology. And we're also going to talk about pros and cons of its research methodology. So hopefully by the end of chapter 4, you're going to be able to make decisions like which market research methodology is the best for your case, right? Alright guys, so let's move on to chapter 5. But before that, let me tell you that from chapter 5 all the way to chapter 11, like those 7 chapters are the project sections. So we're going to spend most of our time here on the project sections. Okay, so let's begin with chapter 5, Market Research for E-commerce Agencies and SaaS. So in chapter 5, I'm going to guide you step by step on how to conduct market research for these 3 concentrations, right? E-commerce agencies and SaaS using AI tools like FlowGPT, AgentGPT, ChatGPT, EcomHunt, PlusDocs, and InsideHacks. So for e-commerce, we're going to pretend that we're going to build a dropshipping store and we're going to pick like one random product and then we're going to use that product as an example for our market research. And for the agency, we're going to pretend that we're going to launch a social media marketing agency that will help local businesses to run their ads, right? And we're going to use that as an example for our market research. And for SaaS, we're going to pretend that we're going to launch a software product. And we're going to use that as an example for the market research, right? Okay, so that's chapter 5. Let's move on to the next chapter, which is chapter 6, Market Research for Investment. In this chapter, I'm going to guide you step by step on how to conduct extensive market research using 2 AI tools. The first one is Altro AI and the second one is Hopes AI. So those AI tools will help you to make decisions before buying the stocks, right? So you can just simply type in the name of the stock and then the AI is going to automatically generate you a lot of valuable data and information about the stocks. Okay, so now let's move on to chapter 7, competitor research with AI. So in chapter 7, we're going to have a case study. We're going to pretend that we have a business and we're going to utilize AI tool called Openly AI to analyze our competitors, right? So we're going to find a way to outperform our competitors in the market. Okay, so that's chapter 7. Let's move on to chapter 8, analyzing consumer insights with AI. So in this chapter, we are going to utilize AI tool called Anthropic IO. This tool will enable you to analyze your consumer data, your consumer behavior. And obviously the objective is to maximize your sales conversions. And to get there, it is very essential for you to fully understand about your consumers, right? Okay, so let's move on to chapter 9, validating business ideas with AI. So if you have any business idea and you want to know whether or not that business has a good prospects, then in chapter 9, we're going to utilize AI tool called Damn a Dozen. So all you need to do is to type in your business idea that you're planning to start and then click generate, and AI is going to generate you a full market research for that business, right? So that's definitely going to be very helpful if you want to start a business, but you're not really sure if that business idea has a good prospects or not. Okay, so now let's move on to chapter 10, web scraping and collecting data with AI. So in chapter 10, we are going to utilize AI tool called simplescrapers.io to collect or scrap data from any websites. And don't worry, if you don't have any programming skills, if you don't have any programming experience, don't worry, we're not going to code in chapter 10. Instead, we're going to utilize this AI tool to scrape the data from any websites automatically without having to write a single line of code. Okay, so now let's move on to the next chapter, which is chapter 11, analyzing and visualizing data with AI. So we're going to utilize AI tool called chat2csv.com. So all we need to do is to upload the datasets. Just make sure that the data is in CSV format, and then we can ask the AI any questions about the data, and we can even ask the AI to generate us the full market research report based on that data. So that's very cool, right? It means that you don't have to analyze the data manually. Okay, so now let's move on to chapter 12, identifying potential bias in market research. Okay, so in chapter 12, we are going to get to know several potential biases in market research. For example, like selections bias, publication bias, response bias, and sampling bias. So make sure that you pay very close attention to chapter 12 because you need to be fully aware of these biases, right, when you're conducting market research, and try to minimize them. Okay, so now let's move on to chapter 13, selling market research insights. Okay, so after learning how to conduct market research using AI tools in the previous chapters, in this chapter we are going to learn how to potentially turn this into a sustainable business. So we're going to talk about 4 different business models. The first one is subscription-based report, the second one is consulting service, the third one is white label reports for agencies, and the fourth one is data licensing and API. All right, so that's chapter 13. Let's move on to chapter 14, which is the last chapter here, conclusion and summary. So I'm going to summarize all things that we learned in this course, and I'm also going to share a few tips and tricks on how to get the most optimal results by focusing on the actual implementations. Okay, so I think that's it, guys. That's all you need to know for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.